Hi, welcome back to Inspired Method Marketing YouTube channel. My name is Karen and this is my husband Trevor. And today we're going to be talking about when do you need a website?
Very good topic.
Yeah, a lot of people actually ask that, or they're concerned about websites when they have a business. So today I'm going to share a quote with you by Paul Cookson, and he says, "Websites promote you 24/7. No employee will do that."
You got that right.
And a website can generate business, promote goodwill among customers and prospects, and deliver strong marketing messages.
Yeah, absolutely. So with websites, they're your online business card and brochure. They are a salesperson that's there for you 24/7, 365. And that's why we love websites, as opposed to just focusing on things like social media and other types of advertising like that. So Karen, what are some questions that people might have?
Before you go to the questions, I actually have a story I remember from one of somebody we were talking to about their marketing, and it's kind of a good way to think of it physically versus digitally. He had a trellis set up in the mall with pamphlets sitting there beside it with nobody there to give out those pamphlets, but they were there with the display showing what somebody could have in their backyard, an amazing setup, and just some pamphlets there. And it was like 24/7, or when the mall was open, people could grab those pamphlets, and they did, and they got lots of business just by having that sitting there with no person. So I was thinking how that's sort of what a website does for you and your business. You don't have to physically be there, but it promotes you and people can learn more about you on that website. So I thought that was kind of a good way to tie those two worlds together. All right, so do you need a website built before you start your business? That's a burning question.
Yeah, a lot of people ask that question. No, I don't believe you need to have that before you start your business, simply because most businesses that we deal with are either service-based businesses or they're medical or something of that nature where they're, in contact with direct-to-consumer, right? So having a website set up ahead of time is not really necessary at the beginning. The most important things are what we're going to be talking about next.
Yes, that's right. So what should you always do first, before your website even, when it comes to establishing yourself online?
Well, first things first, you do need to be thinking about what kind of product or service you're going to be offering. That is, always number one. You can start thinking about a company name that you want to use, but really where you can start is with a Google My Business listing, because Google My Business listings are free and they're free from Google. And that's where you want people to be finding you online even before you have that website going. So if you are, let's say, for example, I was speaking with a couple of different plumbers this week. If you're a plumber and you don't have a great website, or your website is non-existent, you set up a Google My Business listing, and you have to make sure that you are including your address and fill out the information as clearly and as much information as you possibly can, and then begin getting reviews. And then when people are in your local area or in your neighborhood where you're located and they're looking for a plumber, then you can be found on the map search.
Yeah, I was going to actually say, what happens if you don't have an address put on there? Lots of people are leery about putting their home address because maybe they don't have a physical address other than their house if they're, a solopreneur. What happens with that? What do you miss out on when you don't put your address?
Well, what we've been finding is when you don't put your address, you, in a lot of cases, aren't actually pulled up on those local searches. So you don't come up in the little map window that shows up in Google organic searches. So you need to be putting your address down. I know a lot of people may be nervous about that, and people will see my house. Doesn't matter. You want people to call you, make the phone ring, and take care of their needs, right?
Yeah, that's right. So how important is it to have your vision, your mission statement, your, what's problem you solve, or maybe your core values? How important is it to have those figured out before you even get your website built?
Yeah, those are very important things to be considering. And they're all part of the business planning process that we go through here at Inspired Method. We help our clients with business planning, and all those questions are answered in those meetings. So finding out what is the big problem that you solve in the market, and then going through and determining your vision for the company, which includes a number. So for example, our vision is to help 1,000 businesses grow in a 5-year period. Right? And then your mission statement has to be very clear, and your mission is how you're going to actually achieve the vision, right? So that is something that's important you need to have. And then your company values are also need to be crystal clear, because all these things, as we are answering these questions, they are what help determine your brand. Okay? And until you have a brand idea or brand strategy moving forward, it's premature to start building a website.
All right, question number 4 for you, Trevor. What are the consequences if you don't iron out those things first?
Well, what will happen is you will begin developing your website, and you'll probably have to do it again. You're probably going to have to redo the content for the website over and over and over again. And if you don't have a clear vision and purpose of what you're wanting to do, then it's number one, confusing for you. It's confusing for your buyers and potential customers, as well as any employees that you want to bring on board. If you don't know what you stand for and don't know what direction you're taking the company, then how's anybody else supposed to know, right? And you want to be as clear can be. And this will also help tie into your no-brainer offer that you should always have on your homepage above the fold, so that it's crystal clear how people can get started with you, what you're offering to your ideal and likely buyer in that smallest viable audience. So that is, these are all very important things that you need to take care of at the beginning before you start creating the website. Now, a lot of these things, of course, you can use for creating the words or the content for your website, but until you get these solidified, you're jumping the gun. Yeah.
So what would you say is the hardest part of creating a website?
The very hardest part is writing all the content.
Yeah.
Right? That is the hardest part. That is the part where most of it falls off the rails for companies, is they do little tiny snippets, 1 or 2 sentences here, 1 or 2 sentences there, and they think that's going to be enough for, number one, Google to see them, and they think it's going to be enough information for people to make a decision on their company, where that's not always the case. Google likes to see content. They like to see that you are an authority or an expert in your field, and that's what's going to help you to win more in the search engine results pages. So it's very important that you have a lot of content. Like what we recommend to all of our clients is on each physical page of your website, you have 1,000 words. Even on our contact page, we have 1,000 words on our contact page.
That was a hard one to write.
And I wrote all of them on our blog page. Apart from the blogs, the page itself, I created 1,000 words for that page. Yeah. You're wondering, that's crazy. Why would you do that?
1,000 words about a blog?
1,000 words about the blog, like what it's for, who can benefit from it. What are these videos about? Why are they so crappy? I answer all those questions on there. And the reason is we want to be seen by Google as an authority in our field, and that our website is a genuine source of information.
So I guess a good place for you guys to go eventually after this video is to go check out our website, inspiredmethod.com, and just see what we've put in there, and check out all our pages, get some ideas for yourself, and maybe that'll help someone.
Yeah, for sure.
So when is the best time to have your logo designed for your website and for your branding?
Well, you can start thinking about it as you go along. Write down some ideas, and I wouldn't do anything solid until you've got your business plan figured out, and talk to a professional designer. Get it professionally done. Don't just go with something crazy, because you want to have a good name that's easily found on Google. You don't want to have some obscure weird name. You want something that's going to tell exactly what you do, and then create your logo around that, right? Yeah. That's my opinion, because I want to be sure that we're found on Google as number one, and anything, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of frou-frou or very cerebral in thought as far as your logo design. Unless you have, tons of dollars to invest, or you have, venture capital behind you and some really quirky, cool marketing idea for it, and you're willing to put a lot of effort into promoting that, then I would just say
stick to something clear.
Yeah, like Bob's Plumbing or something like that. Very, very simple, right? Very straightforward.
That's funny. You should be actually, though, starting to think about that before obviously before the website's built, because like ours behind us here, I mean, that was built before the website was completed.
Yeah.
But you can change it as you go if you decide you want to kind of evolve that logo. I mean, we built at least 5.
Yeah, at least 5, and then multiple renditions of this one before we said, okay, good enough, we're done. That's the logo.
We like it. And I'm totally in love with it now, so yeah.
Cool. She's got a tattoo.
I don't. Hey, I should. So your website's not finished on time. You guys have maybe had this happen to you, or you're kind of worried about what happens if my website isn't done. What do you do while you wait?
Well, what you do is you start creating blog content. So like these videos we're making now, we'll make a lot of those.
Yep.
Get a whole bunch in the pipe so that you can continually trickle out information. The more you have done ahead of time, say you get 10, 20 or 30 done ahead of time, you've got basically 30 weeks of content that you can continually trickle out to your website. Yeah. And that is always going to be helping you get higher up in the Google search engine results page.
Yeah, that's great. Great advice. So do I need a website if I have a Facebook page?
Oh man, this makes me crazy, because I was building a list of people to contact for our services, and some of them on their Google My Business location, they have a button there for a website. Click on it and it goes to a Facebook page. That is a nightmare, because it's very difficult to get a hold of somebody through Facebook, right? They don't always have a tab there so you can email them or fill out a form. Like typically on a page, it's just not set up for quick contact, right? And you can't dispel all the information about your business on a Facebook page. You can do pretty good, but if you're not, taking advantage of even the free website that you can make through Google, you're going to be missing out on some calls, because not everybody has Facebook. Yeah. Somebody will click on that, and let's say it's an older person who's not savvy on Facebook, or just someone who's not into Facebook at all. You're going to be missed. Like that opportunity is going to sail by you, and because nobody's going to sign up for Facebook just so they can contact you, Mr. Plumber or Baker or whatever you are. Yeah. They're just going to move on to the next one. So it's a huge mistake to just have a Facebook page. And
I feel like Facebook pages are clunky compared to websites. The information is kind of all over. It's not organized the same way as you can on a website. A website is very fluid. It should be anyway, and easy to find what you need. So as soon as my website is done and live, will the traffic start to come to it?
I wish that it happened that way. No, it takes time. It takes time for your website to be out there. And then while you're gathering your Google reviews, until you get to about 40 reviews, you're not really seen as a real viable business by Google. It's one of those triggers that helps get you up in the rankings. And it improves your overall score with Google. So you have to have those 40 reviews on your Google My Business listing. And then with your website, I mean, there's the algorithm changes so often, and there's so many little things that they're looking for that sometimes it just takes time. Websites that have been around longer get more love than ones that are brand new. And that's just reality and how it is, because they're looking for the expertise, authority, and trust factor. So if you have a brand new website, and even if it's 10,000 pages, you'll get some views, but Google's looking for also time. Time is one of those factors.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for answering so many great questions and information for us. And if you liked what you saw, give us a like and a thumbs up, and even send us a comment about what you learned, what you still need to maybe know. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you keep up to date with all the latest marketing videos. Thanks and have a great day.